Action for you.
Right now at 5, clearing his name after a 2-year battle that turned his life upside down. The reason a former Tampa police officer is no longer charged with attacking a woman.
But first, breaking news in Florida's high-stakes recounts. The Palm Beach Post reporting a judge ruled recounts in Palm Beach County should be extended until November 20th. That's 5 days after the original deadline when all Florida counties should have the results completed.
Officials there say they should be done with the recount for Senate by Thursday's deadline, but they will need more time for the governor totals and agriculture commissioner. Our Eric Waxler is live in Hillsborough County, where so far there are no reports of any trouble out there. Eric?
Yeah, Wendy, and we just got some more breaking news that Senator Bill Nelson has filed a new lawsuit in U.S. District Court challenging the deadline. We will see what happens there. Meanwhile, yes, the counting continues. Pinellas County officials say they finished their recount this afternoon. Citrus and Pasco are already done, and here in Hillsborough County, they say they are on schedule. They finished Election Day recounts yesterday. They are about to wrap up early voting ballots and then move on to mail-in ballots. President Trump weighed in once again, tweeting, "When will Bill Nelson concede in Florida?" Trump said in a morning tweet, the characters running Broward and Palm Beach voting will not be able to find enough votes, too much spotlight on them now. Meanwhile, there are no official reports of election fraud anywhere in the state, and here they will continue counting until 9 o'clock tonight and then resume tomorrow. Live in Hillsborough County, Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
Eric, thank you. Meantime, with many Florida counties making progress on their recounts, we're staying on top of where the major races stand. The biggest difference we noticed today is for the Agriculture Commissioner's race. Nikki Fried has now opened a 43,000 vote lead over Matt Caldwell. The other races are mostly the same, with Ron DeSantis beating Andrew Gillum in the governor's race, Rick Scott still leading Bill Nelson in the Senate race, and Janet Cruz barely edging out Dana Young for a state Senate seat. Jameson?
Circling back to updates on recounts in South Florida, a judge temporarily dismissed a lawsuit from Governor Rick Scott. The Senate candidate wanted the county's voting machines impounded while they weren't getting used, but the judge says she didn't feel she had the authority to make that happen. And Broward County finally began its recount today. It got a late start since workers had to spend hours going through all the ballots. Elections officials there say they're confident they'll make their deadline. A reminder of that key date, the deadline for all of the counties but Palm Beach to send in their unofficial results is Thursday at 3 p.m. If they don't get the results in on time, the results already on file will take their place. The final results should come in by Saturday, and then 1 week from today, state officials will certify the results.
And we've posted that recount timeline to abcactionnews.com along with a link where you can check and make sure your vote was counted. If you voted by mail, we'll also be sure to send out a push alert with the recount results once we get them in this week.
A former Tampa police officer is no longer charged with sexually assaulting a woman he pulled over 2 years ago. Adam York spoke about the state attorney's decision this afternoon. ABC Action News reporter Heather Lee is joining us live with why this happened now. Heather?
Well, Jameson, Adam York's attorney gave us a copy of text messages from the accuser to her partner, and one of those text messages actually reads, "I'm getting millions from the cop case," and Richard Escobar believes her motive for all of this was money. Either way, the case has been thrown out by the state attorney's office. This is video released by the Tampa Police Department in 2016 when a woman says York pulled her over in the parking lot of the West Shore Mall and then sexually assaulted her. Escobar's press conference today was more like closing statements in a trial. He went through the accusations and pointed out what he believes were all of the inconsistencies in the accuser's story. He says the touch DNA the lab found on this woman's underwear was about the same size of a driver's license. They say that's important because York did touch her driver's license during the traffic stop, which they believe she used to transfer his DNA onto her underwear. The trial was set to start in 2 weeks. All of that is over, but York says his life is still in shambles.
When you're the one who's been accused and you know you're innocent, you're angry from day one. From day one, you're saying, I didn't do this, and you've got all kinds of evidence, and everybody's just ignoring it. They had a plan, and they were going with it, and they weren't going to let me stop that, and they weren't going to let facts get in the way. They've taken everything from me. They've taken my kids' college. They've wiped us out.
Now, Escobar hopes that Mayor Buckhorn will not only give him his job back, but also back pay for all of the time he's missed, and he is hoping to meet with him tomorrow. For now, we're live in Tampa. Heather Lee, ABC Action News.
Heather, thank you. Within the last 90 minutes, Tampa police responded to these new developments. They told us the state attorney's decision to drop the charges has no bearing on their decision to fire Adam York. The department says they gave York the opportunity to tell his side of the story during the investigation, and he was ultimately fired for, quote, not maintaining the expected standard of conduct and for untruthfulness.
Good evening, everybody. Well, there's a live look at Titan Doppler radar. Pretty quiet, maybe a couple of showers eastern Highlands County. Otherwise, just a lot of cloud cover out there today. Boy, that certainly didn't keep us down temperature-wise, did it? Mid to upper 80s again, up near record highs again east of I-75. Now we're cooling into the upper 70s to low 80s from Largo over to Longboat Key, back to Osprey, over to Lutz, and up toward Brooksville and Crystal River. So this evening, skies remain partly cloudy. I can't rule out one or two showers. There won't be many. A little more action out in the Gulf. And that is kind of a sign of things to come. Not so much on Wednesday morning, but later on Wednesday into Thursday. So this evening, partly cloudy. You're certainly not going to need the jacket tonight, but you certainly will by Friday and into the weekend. More on that coming up in a couple of minutes.
All right, thanks, Dan. We'll check back with you. ABC Action News is staying on top of two death investigations. The first in Hillsborough County, where deputies found a woman dead in a northwest Tampa home. A 911 call brought deputies out to West Patterson Street near Himes Avenue. Deputies searched the whole home, and they still want to talk to anyone who saw something strange in recent days. Meanwhile, in Tarpon Springs, a man calls 911 on himself and ends up charged with murder. Police say Evan Costello shot and killed his 68-year-old father, James Costello. That 911 call shows they were fighting over the family dog.
We're working to get you an update on breaking news we brought you this morning surrounding this fire in Clearwater. A business on Pinella Street caught fire around 8 a.m. People inside had to evacuate to safety. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Tonight, crews in California are slowly gaining ground on these deadly wildfires. Here, the death toll tonight rising to at least 42 all across the state. Reports of missing people range from dozens to hundreds. The so-called Camp Fire in Northern California just became the deadliest in state history. It even wiped out an entire city. Meanwhile, strong winds are fueling the Woolsey Fire in Southern California. Firefighters from as far away as Texas, Georgia, and Indiana are on the way to help.
For the first time, we're hearing from the family of a man shot and killed by a former Lakeland City Commissioner. Cristobal Lopez's loved ones just shared this picture of him with us. His younger sister called him a quiet, peaceful man. She says not only has the loss been hard for her family, but also said this: to see our brother's killer be released from jail, pretending that he was in some way the victim. Michael Dunn is charged with killing Lopez at a military surplus store. Dunn claimed Lopez was shoplifting. So far, no trial date has been set.
Updating a ride malfunction that hurt several children at the Jacksonville Fair. A father says he's planning to sue fair officials after his 9-year-old daughter ended up in the hospital. He says his daughter was on one of the Sky Flyers swings when it smacked into a guardrail and then into other riders. Another girl ended up with a collapsed lung. The Agriculture Department is inspecting the Sky Flyer. If you're planning a trip up north, you'll soon have some more options that will save you some money. Allegiant is rolling out 9 new nonstop routes to and from Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. They include destinations like Baltimore, Cleveland, Asheville, North Carolina, and Richmond, Virginia. Flights begin in February for as low as $45 each way.
Students at 3 Pasco County high schools are learning an important lesson in charity. They just wrapped up Socktober, working together to collect 3,000 pairs of socks for the homeless. This is video of them gathering all the results of their Socktober campaign in one place. Look at that. Students say helping others makes a community stronger.
I felt like it was great to come out and help our community and like people that don't have like what we have to make their day better.
All the socks will benefit the Pasco Homeless Coalition. Still ahead, a toy based on the most popular movie of the year may not be safe for your kids. The warning you need to hear before you go Christmas shopping.
And a local soccer star shines just as brightly off the field, the way his passion likely saved his life.
And from algae to fuel, the revolutionary research and the major hurdle to overcome before this bright green algae can power your car.
And ABC Action News wants your tips about traffic problems in your neighborhood. It's part of our commitment to help drive Tampa Bay forward. If you have a story idea or a tip, You can call us at 866-428-6397 or email us at driving@wfts.com. You're watching ABC Action News at 5.
A smash and grab at a Davenport Pizza restaurant, and now Polk County deputies need your help finding the guys who did it. Take a look. They say this surveillance picture shows the suspects getting away from Giovanni's Pizza yesterday morning. They threw a rock through the front window and grabbed a TV off the wall. Deputies think their escape car is an older Ford Taurus. More than a full week into the nationwide search for this kidnapped teenager right here, and investigators say they're following every conceivable lead to find Hania Aguilar. The FBI wants to talk to the 13-year-old's neighbors in North Carolina just in case someone saw anything. They also want to hear from people if someone they know is acting strange, maybe not returning calls or not going to work. At this point, authorities say there are no signs Hania has died.
A consumer alert before you buy gifts this Christmas. One group warning you about the most dangerous toys of the holiday season, and here they are. Two of them are superheroes toys. This Black Panther Slash Claw and this plastic Power Ranger sword could lead to face or even eye injuries. Now to these plush Nightlight here and that Cabbage Patch Kid doll. They have parts that a small child could accidentally swallow or even choke on. And then this toy right here, this xylophone specifically made for infants. Many of these toys, by the way, sold at Walmart, Target, and other big box stores. Wendy?
Strong reaction to Amazon's decision to pick two cities for its second headquarters. It chose Crystal City, Virginia, and Long Island City, New York. Long Island City is in Queens. Supporters say it's a great investment that will bring jobs and opportunity. But some New York leaders are not on board. They worry it will bring more rich people into that area and push out the working class who's there right now.
The trend toward healthy and natural foods is now extending from humans to pets. Petco now says it's going to stop selling pet food and treats with artificial ingredients. It will start pulling dozens of products in January from its 1,500 stores. They expect they'll be totally free of artificial ingredients by May. This week, a local soccer star fighting for his life is celebrating a very special victory.
Yeah, ABC Action News reporter Sean Daly is at a St. Pete hospital where this young man has become a standout for a whole new reason.
Before Jaden Ojeda came to Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital to fight for his life, he was a soccer prodigy, a young star playing way beyond his years. But as his mother Alicia says, the sport that was his life saved his life.
We found it extremely early. Like, he literally fell directly on his tumor. He tripped over a soccer ball. He's a soccer player.
Jaden, just 14, had osteosarcoma, bone cancer. But in the St. Pete hospital, Jaden became an even bigger star. Despite chemo treatment, his spirit and love of pranks got the attention of nurses.
Did you go through the whole can?
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Rowdies heard about him. So did the Lightning. Everyone wanted to meet this super kid, and they just did. When Jaden had the last of his chemo treatments, his latest scan clean of cancer, and rang that magic bell.
It was exciting. Then you're done with chemo.
To celebrate, the nurses repaid him with a special prank of their own. In St. Petersburg, Sean Daly, ABC Action News.
Cute story. Well, vets just saved a raccoon in the North Fort Myers area that got its head stuck in a soup can. Look at that. The Clinic for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife in Sanibel Island says it used a can opener to cut off the bottom, opening a hole for that raccoon to breathe. And after sedating the animal, veterinarians then slipped the Campbell's soup can off of his head. We're told the raccoon wasn't hurt and he should be back in the wild soon.
All right, Dennis, check this out. Anyone looking to up their Christmas light game might feel inspired after seeing this. A racetrack in Tennessee just upgraded its holiday display with these high-tech animations. It uses projectors and screens to create these holiday-themed scenes.
Nice.
That's next
So
year.
when is it coming to your house, in your house? Because that's all they talk about is
Yes,
putting up Christmas
Christmas
lights.
lights.
Yes.
That's actually called pixels. I'm very familiar with it.
Ah.
I'm not on that scale yet.
Just
But
yet.
Getting
I'm
there,
gonna get
though.
there.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
will.
you are.
Now, if we can get some cool air to make
That'd
it
be
feel
nice.
a little more
It's going to
holiday-like.
finally feel like it
Yeah,
soon,
it's
huh?
going to. It's going to arrive late Thursday into early Friday. Up until then, though, we're still tracking some showers, some storms, and plenty of warm air. There's some rain offshore there at the beach today. A lot of clouds, but that did not keep temperatures down at all. Up near 90 degrees today again, and the only showers quickly moving through our southern counties. There still could be a few more later on this evening, but otherwise I think it's just kind of more of the same. Warm, muggy, with temperatures right now low to mid 80s. Bartow at 86, Lake Placid 85, Brooksville 81, Lutz 83. Upper 70s from Largo, Palm Harbor at 80, Osprey at 79. The dew points are high, the temperatures are high, but that all begins to change shortly. Tampa right now 81 degrees, mostly cloudy in St. Pete, and 80 degrees. There's the satellite picture. The clouds kind of rolled in from the Gulf this afternoon and gave us not completely overcast conditions, but certainly not nearly as sunny as it has been over the past couple of days. But either way, we still warmed right back up well above normal. Now, over the next 24 to 36 hours, we're going to have a couple of weather features impacting us, and that means we'll have a lot of clouds at times, but still some breaks in the clouds, just like we will this evening. So if you're heading outside tonight, weather should be pretty nice. It'll be warm, not going to have to worry about a jacket, and I don't think you're really going to need the umbrella much either. Even tomorrow morning, we're going to see more clouds than sun, but I think mostly dry. You go through the afternoon, then all of a sudden we might see a little bit better chance of a shower, but by Thursday into the afternoon, morning and into the afternoon, you can see how those rains begin to roll through. Now the clouds are going to linger through Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, and then on Friday, from north to south, that cooler air is going to be coming in. So let's go ahead and go hour by hour with some of those temperatures as we go through Wednesday morning. Waking up into the lower 70s, a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, not much rain, if any. And then by lunchtime, we're talking mid to upper 80s right through the afternoon hours as well, but definitely more clouds than sun. Rainfall chances probably only about maybe 20-30%. We'll bump it up to about 40% later on in the day. But I think our best rain chances will be on Thursday. We're going to start off warm, even warmer than I think we will tomorrow. Most of us under cloudy skies in the low to mid 70s. And then in the afternoon, we warm right back up. But notice what happens. Now, the models are being a little more aggressive in bringing in the cold air this go around. They were slowing it down. Each run, it appears that they're bringing it even faster. This is Thursday at 5 o'clock. So it'd be a good idea to check us out tonight at 11 o'clock, because if you're making any plans, even as soon as Friday and definitely into the weekend, we've got that colder weather that's going to be coming in. And you can see it. There it is. Highs in the 60s, and I'm pretty sold on 60s now, not just on Friday, but maybe even on Saturday as well, and morning lows in the 40s, maybe 30s in our northern counties, most of us though in the 40s to lower 50s on Friday, Saturday, and then early on Sunday as well. Here's some good news. Remember, this was red at 90% yesterday. Well, now it's yellow, down to 20%. Pretty rare for tropical systems to really get going in November in the Atlantic, and it doesn't look like this one will either. This is the only area that we usually keep our eyes on, and nothing expected there. So hour by hour, partly cloudy, warm and muggy overnight. Can't rule out an isolated shower. There won't be many, with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. So out the door on Wednesday morning, mostly cloudy. Temperatures starting off warm, even warmer in the afternoon, in the middle 80s with some showers, especially in the afternoon. Now, Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. This is where things get interesting. So the front comes in on Thursday. Out ahead of it, showers, potentially even a couple of stronger thunderstorms. And as we roll into Friday, now I will tell you, some of our models are going highs in the lower 60s on Friday. I'm not sold on that yet, but that's that trend I was talking about. So it is something that we'll have to watch closely later on this evening into tomorrow. They're also keeping highs in the 60s on Saturday. I went 70, but regardless, you see where we're going here, from mid to upper 80s to 60s for highs on Friday and near 70 on Saturday. Now Sunday we start to warm up, but still below normal with temperatures in the upper 70s to near 80 degrees. Guys?
All right, thank you, Dennis. Still ahead, stories of survival. The rescuers who have returned to the danger zone again and again as those wildfires rage on in California, and the way one hero's selflessness is getting repaid.
And hundreds of new jobs, businesses creating 800 open positions. New tonight, what they're going, where they're going, and the wave of new life they represent for empty shopping centers.
Welcome back. We hear a lot about algae in our waters off Florida, and now researchers are working to grow algae in labs so they can turn it into biofuel for your car.
Yeah, these labs in Michigan can actually grow algae a lot faster than nature can produce oil. And biofuel burns cleaner, which could help cut pollution and help the country meet future energy goals.
Creating a full-blown algae farm has proved to be a challenge.
At the size of a commercial scale pond, they crash. Nature throws weather fronts at you, it throws disease, it throws things that like to eat these algae. So one of the things we're trying to figure out is how do we work with Mother Nature instead of fighting against her to create a pond that can have a more continuous source of.
Well, if scientists can figure this out, they believe a small farm could produce all of the biodiesel needed to fuel the entire U.S. To do something similar with oil, you would need to convert all of the corn farms in the Midwest.
Just do it like Back to the Future, where you put the garbage in the time machine.
Yeah, the beer cans, the banana peel. That's it. That's all you need.
I never have to pay for gas again.
Paula Groen joins us now with what he's working on for 5:30.
Hey guys, coming your way next here, it is one of those only in Florida moments to show you 2 break-ins at the same restaurant in just 1 week, but it's what one of the suspects did inside on camera that has police scratching their heads.
Making St. Pete streets safer. New at 5:30, the changes happening today that could save lives and the surprising backlash from some community members.
And days before Thanksgiving, a major warning tonight about turkey. We're breaking down what you need to know before planning your family's meal.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Lakeland Toyota. Save more on I-4.
Tonight, the price of progress, public safety versus private business, the major local road with added crosswalks and bike lanes, but is the added security choking the life out of people's livelihoods? The recount race against the clock, what are the obstacles standing in the way, and why some machines just can't count fast enough? Crime and punishment, an innocent man who spent 3 decades behind bars for a rape he did not commit. Tonight, the new way local prosecutors are now working to help free people who are wrongly convicted of crimes. We begin tonight with a high-impact story that will change how you get around in one busy area of Tampa Bay. Major modifications now coming to more than a dozen streets in St. Petersburg, but it comes at a cost. Sarah Hollenbeck tonight, driving Tampa Bay forward live along Martin Luther King Street North. Sarah.
Paul, just today, crews started working on the first of 5 new crosswalks here along MLK, but it's one of many changes they made here along this road. The biggest one, eliminating an entire lane of traffic. And while those changes are good to save lives, some businesses tell me it's costing them in customers. John Joyce has learned to stay as close as he can to the curb.
The cars zoom past me. Sometimes I just see streets.
He's had a couple close calls on his electric scooter. But trucking along MLK is now a breeze thanks to these 11-foot wide bike lanes.
Faster, safer, and easier.
St. Pete leaders using this busy corridor to try something new, taking away a lane of car traffic to make way for bikers and walkers. The city is certain with these new bike lanes combined with 5 new crosswalks, it should drastically reduce the number of pedestrians getting hit. But not everyone welcomes the changes. Dale Nichols says with fewer lanes, traffic often backs up, pushing drivers to find new routes away from his bar.
People just zoom right on by because there's no place to turn in.
Many taking nearby 4th Street as an alternative.
It's just terrible.
City leaders say while the changes can create tension, they had to be made to keep everyone safe.
What we resoundingly heard was that people don't feel comfortable crossing the street and they wanted some good crosswalks.
And now they're looking at similar changes along 16 main corridors, including 16th Street, 54th Avenue, Park Street, and 1st Avenue. Now the 5 new crosswalks here along MLK should be finished by mid-January. St. Pete leaders will then closely study this road to see if the number of crashes here goes down. Reporting live in St. Pete, I'm Sarah Hollenbeck, ABC Action News.
We are in this together. You're helping us drive Tampa Bay forward. So if you've got a story idea, call us at your number on your screen right now, 866-428-6397, or you can email us at driving@WFTS.com. Developing right now, we are working to get an update tonight on the 19-year-old who was hit while crossing the street. Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies say that he was in a crosswalk at Bloomingdale and Colbreth Road in the Brandon-Bloomingdale area about 2 hours ago. We're told that the driver is now cooperating with investigators. We will update you as soon as we learn more. Now to the big shakeup tonight in Florida's midterm recounts. The Palm Beach Post now reporting the deadline for voting recounts in Palm Beach County has now been extended until November 20th. And just within the last half hour, Senator Bill Nelson filing a lawsuit asking a court to extend the deadline statewide. And as of now, the deadline for every county except Palm Beach is Thursday. And tonight we're also getting a better idea of the challenges of a recount. election. Officials in Palm Beach County say their machines only count one race at a time. Supervisor of Elections Susan Booker says the state's Thursday deadline is, quote, unreasonable because the size of the county in Palm Beach. They also say that every time a ballot is actually put through the machine, it gets worn down and that machine may eventually reject it. You can count on ABC Action News to keep you updated on the recount process and the results as they come in. We have a special section right now on our website, abcactionnews.com. Days of devastation in California, the death toll climbing tonight as massive wildfires continue to burn across the state and as firefighters continue their battle against the blaze. Stories of survival and heroics rising from the ashes. An ICU nurse posting this picture to Instagram of his truck partially melted as he escaped those flames to get back to the hospital and pull his patients out to safety. After Alan Pierce posted the picture and his story on social media, support started pouring in, including a special comment here directly from Toyota. The company posted, "We are, quote, humbled that you would risk your life and Toyota Tundra to drive people to safety. Don't worry about your truck. We are honored to get you a new one." And there are several ways that you can help the families who have lost everything. The easiest way is through the American Red Cross. You can donate on their website right now or through a text message. To make a $10 donation, just text Red Cross, all one word, to 90999. And Dennis, as we see in Florida's brush fires from time to time, the wind combined with those dry conditions, that's a dangerous combination.
It is, Paul, and very often when one part of the country is very dry, the other part is wet, and that's almost always the way it plays out. So while they're having all that dry conditions out west, back east, we're looking at major rain events across the East Coast and snow up north. And that same front is actually coming this way, meaning higher rain chances for us, which isn't a bad thing, later Wednesday into Thursday. Now, temperatures right now, mostly in the low to mid 80s. A lot of humidity out there. Futurecast shows partly cloudy skies tonight. If you're stepping out the door, really things should look pretty nice. It's going to be unusually warm, muggy, maybe one or two isolated showers. There certainly won't be many. But as we head into the latter stages of the work week, that's when we're going to see huge changes, not just in the rain, but also in the temperatures. And more on that coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Dennis, thank you. A fiery scene for people driving on I-275 southbound this morning. Action Air 1 live up top over the scene. This car completely engulfed in flames near Barris Avenue. The Chrysler on fire for several minutes before crews could finally put it out. But thankfully, we know troopers say the driver is okay tonight. Also new tonight, a community now rallying around a 24-year-old woman who is badly hurt after that wrong-way driver hit her on the Howard Franklin Bridge. Fergs in St. Pete now hosting a fundraiser for Andrea Rush on November 23rd. Rush had been a server and a bartender there for the last 6 years. A suspected drunk driver crashed into her head-on back on November 1st. The event will include raffles and live music. 20% of the proceeds will go to her medical treatment. Next up here tonight, they were wrongly convicted of crimes, and now a local state attorney is on a mission to make sure that innocent people are not sitting in prison. ABC Action News reporter Wendy Lane tonight with the story of one man who spent 3 decades behind bars and what this new program would mean for others like him.
It's like being in a jungle. You trying to survive there.
That's how James Bain explains the 35 years he spent in prison for a crime he didn't do.
Wrongful convictions are rare, but even one is an injustice.
In 1974, at the age of 19, Bain was convicted to life in prison for kidnapping and raping a boy.
I thought I was gonna die there.
He's maintained his innocence ever since.
When I was in there, I was constantly fighting until this new technology came around.
With the help of the Innocence Project and DNA testing, Bain was proven innocent and released in 2009.
You are a free man. Congratulations.
Now, Hillsborough County is just one of 35 jurisdictions in the entire country where the state attorney's office is starting a conviction review unit to help people like Bain.
We look forward to helping the justice system be even better by an impartial review to make sure that no innocent man is serving in prison.
Now, at 63, he works full-time and has a family. And although he was robbed of 35 years, he says he's forgiven and feels blessed for the freedom.
It's unexplainable.
And Bain knows there are others like him still in prison.
There is hope. You're looking at living proof.
In Hillsborough County, Wendy Lane, ABC Action News.
Caught on camera here, a jewelry thief using a tool to pry open a display case at the University Mall. He pries open the case at the Jewelry Boutique back on October 20th. The video coming out tonight. He stole 10 men's gold bracelets. Several people just walked right by him. They were worth about $3,000 in total. If you recognize the man, call the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. They are looking for him tonight. A major health alert ahead of Thanksgiving. The CDC now says that salmonella, the outbreak, is linked to raw turkey. More than 164 people are sick across the country, including 7 cases in Florida. The Centers for Disease Control says 1 person died in California. Researchers linked the outbreak to raw turkey, products including ground turkey, patties, and even pet food with raw turkey. They have not, though, traced it back to a single supplier yet, saying that has not been found, in several different brands, so a little harder to track that one down. Publix, meanwhile, just named as one of the best retail workplaces in the entire country. Fortune ranking the Lakeland-based company second on its list. Fortune says that it came up with the rankings after surveying more than 631,000 retail employees across the country. Wegmans Food Markets taking the top spot, and CarMax coming in at number 3. Still ahead here tonight, a naked man caught on camera breaking into a restaurant in St. Petersburg. What he did inside and the other crime that led police to this guy. Plus, holiday travel warnings. Heads up here tonight. The new screening process that's going to greet you at the airport this year and the risk you may run into on the roads. And hope for the holiday. Dozens of families getting a free meal for Thanksgiving. Tonight, the effort to make sure that every family has a holiday they can enjoy. And here's Good Morning Tampa Bay meteorologist Greg D with an early look at your wake-up forecast.
Good evening, everybody. Warm weather about to come to a big end here as we go across the Bay Area. Temperatures still in the 70s early on Wednesday morning. A mix of clouds and clear skies. Eventually, clouds and sunshine by 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Should be mainly rain-free early Wednesday, but we are tracking a cold front that will likely move in Wednesday night into Thursday. The updated numbers and how chilly it may get behind that front starting at 4:30 on Good Morning Tampa Bay.
New tonight, a crane comes tumbling down on top of a Sarasota gym. This happened at the Crunch Fitness on Lockwood Road and University Parkway. It's back open tonight, but the crane operator still recovering. Investigators say he fell about 10 feet when that crane came down. The truck belongs to Remcon Roofing. They're still trying to figure out how that crane or why the crane fell over. TSA officials are bracing for a record number of flyers this Thanksgiving. They say more than 25 million of us are going to be flying between November 16th and November 26th. Agents are adding more screening lanes at airports across the country, including new X-ray scanners. Meanwhile, something to keep in mind if you're hitting the road. Florida now reporting a record number of these gas pump skimmers found all across the state. Now, the Department of Agriculture has already found theft devices at 689 stations as of October 25th. That is more than all of last year. You know, oftentimes gas stations near busy highways are the ones targeted, so be on the lookout. Just in here tonight, e-cigarette maker Juul is going to stop selling most flavors in stores. The company making that change after mounting pressure from the Food and Drug Administration to curb teenage vaping. Juul is known for the smaller vaping devices that often look like USB devices. The company will stop selling e-cig flavors that, quote, clearly target kids. Juul also vowing to shut down its social media accounts as well. All new here at 5:30, officers in St. Petersburg looking into a break-in at the Chataway Burger joint. They got quite the surprise, though, while reviewing the surveillance video here. They found video of a naked man inside the restaurant hours later. Jake Peterson tonight finding out why he will not be facing charges.
The first call came into police after someone broke into this restaurant and stole electronics. The officer was looking through security cam footage and noticed something bizarre. The night before, another man broke into the Chataway. The managers didn't even know because he didn't steal anything. The video shows the man taking his clothes off and then heating up some soup. He stays for several minutes and then leaves. The second unwanted guest also dines at the restaurant.
He started off by getting a basket of cooked chicken wings out of the refrigerator and eating those before he proceeded then to steal a bunch of items.
Investigators are looking for the man who stole the electronics from here, but managers are not pressing charges on the naked man. because he didn't steal from the restaurant. Reporting in St. Pete, Jake Peterson, ABC Action News.
Well, listen to this one. The next time you go to the doctor, you may be getting a drinking checkup. The United States Preventative Task Force now advising doctors to step up screening for unhealthy alcohol use. So here are the guidelines. The task force says that men ages 21 to 64 should not drink more than 4 drinks in a day or 14 drinks in a week. For women and older men, the limit is 3 drinks a day and no more than 7 in a week. As far as the visit to the doctor, you should expect more questions about drinking and counseling if a doctor sees fit. Panama City family is using their Christmas card to send a very powerful message. Jenny Collier sharing these pictures with ABC Action News. This massive oak tree in her parents' yard, it fell during Hurricane Michael. Before crews removed the tree, which has been really the backdrop for those family photos for the last 40 years, they decided to decorate and snap this picture. And Jenny tells us she wants as many people as possible to see this and to spread the word that there is still so much more work to be done in the Panhandle. And you know, Dennis, we get busy this time of year as we approach the holidays. Easy to forget there are folks still really hurting up there.
Yeah, and that's been going on for months, and you're exactly right. I mean, I think because it's not front page news, it's not the lead story, people forget about it, but those impacts are going to be for months, if not years.
Still putting their lives back together.
Yeah, I mean, there's been rough weather up there the last 24 hours. Things are now beginning to wind down with the severe threat in the Panhandle. For us, we continue to see clouds and maybe a few showers throughout the evening hours, but if you looked out from Rivergate, still kind of a beautiful sunset, and that's what's great about the clouds that we've had. They make the sunsets just spectacular. Even with the cloud cover, we're not really looking at any rain right now. With temperatures, it's all about the heat. We're right back in the upper 80s to low 90s this afternoon. Now we're in the low to mid 80s from Zephyr Hills to Plant City, Haines City, Bartow, Newport Richey, Clearwater, Bradenton. Most of the area in the low to middle 80s, and high dew points mean those feels like temperatures are well into the 80s. Partly cloudy at the airport right now in Tampa, 81 degrees. The dew point is 73. And again, we hit 86. That was the high today in Tampa. We didn't break a record. The record was 89. Morning low dropped down to 75. Clearwater right now, and St. Pete, partly sunny, now partly cloudy. The sun is going down at 80 degrees. The dew point 74. Remember, in the summer, dew points are about 70 to 75. So there's as much moisture in the air now as there is in the middle of the summer, and that is extraordinarily rare for us. Typically November and December, right? We get dry and things cool off quite a bit. And no report from Sarasota. Actually just came in, partly cloudy and 81 degrees. The dew point is 73. So here's a look at the satellite picture. All in all, not a bad day. Another warm one, kind of breezy, making it feel pretty comfortable. And yet you can see there's rain out in the Gulf. And I think over the next couple of days, we're going to see more of that. There's going to be periods of sun, periods of clouds, and a couple of showers. But it's not going to be even close to what we would call a washout. Our highest rain chances, I think, will be with a front, which comes in on Thursday. So this evening, we look pretty good, partly cloudy. Cannot rule out an isolated shower. But you notice, first thing Wednesday morning, you step out the door, you're going to see more clouds. It will still be warm and muggy with temperatures in the low to mid 70s, but mostly dry. And into the afternoon hours, more of the same. Thursday, there comes the front, swings through by late afternoon, and the clouds kind of linger. So timing it out over the next couple of days, more clouds than sun, a chance of showers at almost any time, and then drier, cooler air comes in by late Thursday night and into early on Friday. Talking about temperatures, no changes for at least the next 48 hours, meaning we start our day in the low to mid 70s. We end our day in the mid to upper 80s. That's Wednesday. A lot like today, maybe a couple of more showers than we had today. Thursday, I think we're actually going to start out even warmer because that front won't be here yet. We'll be overcast with a good chance of showers. And then into the afternoon hours, look what begins to happen. Now, this is Thursday at 5 o'clock. The models are already showing the cooler air. They're getting more aggressive with it. I think it's been a good idea to check us out tonight at 11 o'clock, and I'll update on Facebook because each and every hour, the numbers are coming in a little bit colder. So I truly believe our highs on Friday will be in the 60s, and I kind of think Saturday will be in the same ballpark as well. Maybe lower 70s, but either way, well below normal. And then we stay below normal, upper 70s, which is actually about where we should be, I guess, starting on Sunday and into the early part of Thanksgiving week. The tropics, still looking at this, but this was red yesterday. Obviously, it's a good thing now. It's only yellow. Doesn't look like it's going to develop, so maybe we won't get Patty after all. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast this evening. Partly cloudy, warm and muggy, maybe a couple of showers, certainly not very many. And look at your forecast for Wednesday. Some showers out there, but mostly in the afternoon, and the coverage only about 20, maybe 30%. Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. We're going to go rain chances overall in the entire viewing area 50% tomorrow, but much higher on Thursday, 70%. And then late afternoon, early evening, skies begin to clear, and then the cooler air rolls in by Friday. Now, we're going 67 now, but I wouldn't be surprised if you tune in tomorrow if this is more like 64 or 63. The models are really coming in colder, and I wouldn't be surprised if Saturday we're looking at a high maybe in the upper 60s as opposed to the low 70s, but by Sunday we're back in the mid 70s, and then I think it stays that way into early next week.
Dennis, thank you. Still ahead here tonight, powering a drone with just the thoughts in your head. I'm not making this up. We have the video to prove it, and we're going to tell you and show you how this works, plus the Tampa Bay connection next.
Download the new ABC Action News app for your mobile phone and tablet. Just search ABC Action News in your favorite app store.
All right, you got to check this out here. A new kind of competition coming to the University of South Florida. The 2019 Brain Drone Racing event will be the first international competition of its kind. Competitors wearing that special headband device and with their brainwave patterns. That's what actually signals the drone to move. Essentially, you think it and the drone does it. This technology is currently being used in the medical field to help return partial sight to the visually impaired, but now it is moving drones. I don't know where we go from there, but I do know this. It's World Kindness Day, and we found a fitting story here to share out of South Florida. A golf course manager going above and beyond for his longtime employee who was recently diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. Christopher Gamble and Linda Young have worked together for nearly 20 years. Chris and his wife agreed to serve as the backup family for Linda's children. Linda is battling lung cancer, and Chris is now honoring that promise, recommitting to adopting her kids.
You know, it was either see the kids go into the system or her get them, and that was the only way to get them.
I told you that's my sister and my brother from another mother.
And now their St. Lucie community is raising money to send Linda and those kids to Disney World while she is still feeling well enough. Still ahead here tonight, there is breaking news unfolding just within the past 5 minutes. We're going to explain the reason that Governor Rick Scott's campaign says they are not happy with the recount process in Hillsborough County and what he's now doing. Plus, cleared prosecutors dropping charges against a former cop. The reason it's all over 2 years later, and what Tampa police have to say tonight.